Hello everyone, it's Graham from Lakeside and this is a Wednesday update. And the reason for the update is primarily because I went to the Peterborough Railway exhibition on Sunday, which was thoroughly enjoyable, probably one of the best exhibitions I've been to. And it was for a couple of reasons really. It was a large exhibition, the environment there was nice because you weren't trying to get through crowds of people around the tables or the exhibition layouts. It was a pleasant environment. You could see everything which was going on, and so it was a nice place to walk around. I was there for about 4 hours, I think, trundling around with my wife Hazel, and we both had a really good time there. Some great stalls, some great layouts, so yeah, it was a great day out. Now I went there with a preconceived shopping list in my head of things I would like to get if I saw them, and so what I'm going to do today is just go through the bits and pieces I got and why I got them, and show you where they're going to go and so forth. Now it's a cross between stuff for the layout on Lakeside, primarily for Lakeside, and a couple of bits for the Class 50. So the first thing I'll show you is the bits for the Class 50, because there was only 2 items for that. So let's bring the first one into shot. This I didn't get at the exhibition. I got this off of eBay actually, and it's a display case which I wanted to get just to protect it from dust, etc., because I'm obviously not going to be using this for long periods of time. So I thought I'd get a nice display unit, and what you can see in the back of it is a back scene I bought at the exhibition. That's why I'm showing you it really. So I've got to make a little diorama for this to sit into. So I've got the track down and the back scene in, and then next job really is to ballast the track and put an embankment in where that white band is, put a few trees in, and yeah, just make a nice little diorama from it. So you can see from there what it's going to be like. Now along the side here, where you can see this bit here, I should put some black film over the top of this so you can't see that white card, and also black film on the corners. Just pop this down gently, just here on this curve here, so that you can't see down through that area. So it's just little things like that which will help neaten it up. So I think that's going to look nice when it's done, and also it'll protect it from dust. Wherever I store it, it'll either be up in the barn with Lakeside or maybe in the lounge in the house. I don't know yet. But so that's that. So what I got at the exhibition was the back scene, and I've just mounted that onto some card with some spray mount, and I've done it in such a way that rather than having it straight across the back and then down the sides, I've curved it, as you can see. Hopefully if I can get a reflection out there, I've curved it so that when you're looking at an angle, oh she moved, when you're looking at an angle you don't actually see the corner, it just curves around, so it just gives an impression of it moving on a bit. Let's put that down because I know I'm going to drop that in a minute. So that's that, get out of the way. I'm still in the process of doing the smoke unit on that. I will get there, but still no smoke at the moment. Right, next up I'll keep with the Class 50 for the moment. And what I've got here, the only thing left really to do on that, apart from the smoke unit, is fit the lights. So from Keats Lights, that's the brochure, I've got some 1.8mm red LEDs there, and some capacitor thingies to solder in to keep it to 12 volt or something, but apparently I need those. So they are ready now to install, and then once those are installed, then I can fit the inside cab details, but I can't do that until these are installed. So that's the Class 50 stuff out of the way, and I didn't go get that right until the last minute of the exhibition. I was trying to find these people and found them eventually. So that's that. Boring bit. I then got some new cutters for track work, because my existing cutters had finally not given up the ghost, but they had been used quite a bit, obviously, when I've been laying all the track work for Lakeside. So I saw those at a reasonable price, and they're normally about £15, something like that, and I think I got these for 11. So I thought that was a bargain. Next up, so all the rest really is for Lakeside. Next up was I bought 6 coach lighting kits. And I got these because these were on special offer. These were, I think, £3.75. Yeah, there we go, it says it on the label, £3.75 for the pack, which includes the LED strips here, the wiring, pickups, capacitors if you need them, to drop it down a bit so they're not so bright, and these are in warm white. And the reason I got these is, I'll show you next, is because I've got some a new loco coming, which is a GWR loco. I will go into that when it arrives, and I haven't got any GWR coaches. Surprisingly enough, I've got quite a few coaches, but none are the chocolate and brown GWR. So on my list, on my shopping list, was to have a look around and see if I could get any, which I did. So let me show you this now. Voila, 6 chocolate and cream coaches. Now these are railroad coaches, and I don't really like railroad stuff, to be honest, and that's because of the history of me seeing railroad stock, and it always looked a little bit cheap and nasty, but I was looking on the stands, and the modern day railroad stuff is actually very good. And I picked up one of these, the railroad version, and next to it was the standard Hornby version, which, as you know, instead of having this diagonal which indicates railroad, it had the red and yellow stripe going horizontal. I picked up this and an identical coach, which was not the railroad version, and the only difference between the two are the bogies. The printing on the side here was identical. Everything was identical, down to the NEM cut pins. It was absolutely identical, but it was half the price. Now look, that's how much that coach cost me. £12.95. That's a ridiculous price. That is so cheap for a coach. So I bagged 6, which are first class, open, full brake. I think there's a full brake, an ordinary standard brake in there somewhere there. So that gives me 6 coaches now. for £12.95 each, which I think was a bargain. It really was a bargain price. Looking on eBay, you get charged such a ridiculous price if you're not careful on eBay. You think you might be getting a bargain because it's on eBay, and sometimes they work out more expensive than if you get them from ordinary suppliers. So anyway, 6 coaches with 6 lighting packs. Job's a good one. All I've got to do is change the wheels, which I've got already. I've already got some coach wheels, which are the steel wheels, which have to be isolated. Obviously one has to be live, the other one has to be not live. So that's all I've got to do, is swap the wheels over and pop these in. Now I'm not going to bother with putting in the stay alive type things like I did on those teak coaches, but I will be using the same method of assembly by using the spring type. I'm not going to be using these little pickups here. I should go straight to the spring type units I used on the teak coaches. That way I can have all of the wheels powered, so that if there's dirty contacts over here or on points on this end, hopefully it should be picking up the power on here. Okay, they may flash a bit here and there, but who cares? I don't. So that shouldn't take too long to do at all. And that's the sort of job I can do in January onwards when I'm retired, and I can sit indoors when it's snowing and cold and horrible outside, and I'm not at work, I'm sitting at home, and I can peacefully put all these things together in my own time, no rush. I'm really looking forward to that journey, I really am. So I won't be doing the lighting part of it probably until the next year, but at least I've got the components to do them. And to get these for £12.75, was it £12.95, whatever it was, £12.95, that was just an absolute steal. And the lovely thing about these coaches is that it's new stock. It's flush glazing. It hasn't got that very, very thick lip around the windows like the old versions had. It's totally flush. It looks very nice. I'm really chuffed to bits with that buy. I really am. So that's that lot. Almost at the end. Let's pack that away over there to make room for the last bit, which is, if I could just bring this up. Right, for about a year and a half, I would think, year and a half, something like that. I've been looking at something which really wowed me, and unfortunately, two things really. I couldn't justify the expense at the time because I was not sure whether to do this or not, how far I was going to get into Lakeside, and several other factors, and so I've put it off, but always, whenever I've gone to an exhibition or seen a review about it, I've always gone, wow. It blew my mind away, it really did. What am I talking about? Well, it's a turntable. And you probably know already, just having said that, which turntable I'm going to be on about. And it's made by ADM Turntables. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on turntables on YouTube, and the thing which always put me off was, well, not always, because there's been one or two which have been really good actually, but majority is the clunkiness and the loudness of the turntables. The Hornby one, for instance, is very, very loud, and it stops at every junction. If you want to go 180 degrees, you can't just go 180 degrees, you've got to go through the process of stopping at each sector as it goes through, plus all the noise. Now this turntable, which I've been looking at, say, for the last year, 18 months, is a work of art in itself. The engineering on it, which is the bit which I was interested in, is just stunning. And the guy who makes this, he makes them himself, and it's not that far from me at Hiram Ferrers, so he's only about half an hour away from me. But when I went to the exhibition on Sunday, he was there, and I thought, right, this time I'll have a word with him. And the reason being is that, as you know, I'm concentrating on that far end of Lakeside. Now that far end of Lakeside has got the hillside, it's going to have the entry and exit for the helix underneath, and also up that end, if you can remember, there is the turntable. Now with the recent updates I've been doing on Lakeside, you haven't been seeing me use that terminus, and it's primarily for a couple of reasons. One is that I've got so much stock that the terminus has really been used as a storage facility, because I haven't got a storage facility anymore, it's just full. And the other thing is that the turntable which is in there at the moment is really not doing it. It's there, but it doesn't actually do anything because it's not powered. There's really not any track connected to it. There's track going to it, but it's not actually connected to it. So it's getting critical now that I look at that area and decide what I'm going to do. And what I was going to do was just get some form of motor and power it from that. But me being me, I really, in the heart of my heart, I really wanted this turntable. So when I saw him there, cut a long story short, I had about a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes chat with him, Alistair, and smashing bloke, and very chatty and very helpful. Not a salesman, wasn't at all pushy. He gave me a good demonstration, and to be honest with you, it was sold before I even got to the stand. But he kind of confirmed and answered all my questions, and so I went away, and my wife was with me. We went outside, had a cup of coffee and a smoke, and discussed it, came back and bought it. So what did I get? Right, well, what I will do, I will show you the operation of it, and also the fitting kit, and you can make your own mind up on whether you think that it's a good piece of kit or not. So let's get it over in front of the camera. And here it is. So what's all the fuss about? Because that is just a Pico kit, which is actually exactly the same as what I have got on Lakeside at the moment. In fact, it's only half of it because there's all the railings to fit on yet. There's other little details which need to go on, but it's basically exactly the same as what I've got. That's the bit which you can see. The bit you can't see is what I haven't got. And if I tip this up carefully, I will show you. That's what's underneath it. Now this can be used for DCC or DC. This will be used for in DCC mode. So what you have is a stepper motor here, and it's driving a belt, which you can see through there, onto here, and then all the electronics is in here. Yeah, great. So what's that mean? Well, it means that there's 3 wires altogether to wire it up. There's this, which is the power. There is this wire, which is a Cat5 wire, which goes to the control box. And then there will be 2 wires which will be from your track. Now you can have this as either a separate controller, which is the way I'm going to be doing it, or you can actually have it as an accessory on your DCC controller. But I'm going to have this as a separate controller. I think I've got enough stuff now on my ECOS controller. I've got obviously all the locos and the points, and to be honest with you, when you're running 5, possibly 6 trains going around the track and you're changing points, I don't want to have to break into that ECOS to go, oh, I want to turn the turntable, make it go from there to there. I want to have that as a separate unit. But that's my choice. You don't have to do that. If you want to have this wired into your controller, you can do. So that's one part of it. The bit which I really liked was the easy setup and programming of it. Well, relatively easy, of the programming of it, and the prototypical way in which this actually starts up, moves and stops, and I'll show you in a second what I mean. So what you have is a control box, which is here, like that. Now this panel, you can see that there's 4 white screws in each corner. You don't have to have it in this box. This can be mounted into a panel of your own choice. So if you have a dedicated panel where you've got your controller and you may have your points, etc., this can be set into it as well. So you don't have to have this black box. But you can't just have this panel. You can't just hold it because the sweat and your heat from your hands will probably upset this display system here. So I've opted for the moment to have this set in this box, just so I'm not destroying or interfering with this display anyway. Maybe in the future, when I've settled down and I know exactly where my control panel is going to be on Lakeside, I might have this in the panel and take it out of this box. But for the moment, this box is absolutely fine. So you have the turntable, that's part of the kit. So you've got the turntable, this is how it comes. I haven't touched it, I haven't put anything together, it's all assembled when you get it. All I've done is literally plug it in with 2 wires at the moment. Obviously the other wires are for the track to go into. And all I've done is plug it into the wall and plug this into the electronics underneath, and that's it. Now I could just settle for that. Okay, I could lift out my Pico track in the barn and I could drop that in its place, job done. That's the easy solution. But Alistair has actually thought of something ingenious again and thought, well, that's fine, but what happens if for whatever reason you need to take this out? Now it might be because there's something faulty with it, it might be because you want to change the layout slightly, and to do that you might want to take this out. Now to take it out you would have to lift it out, because this drops in a standard form. The turntable drops into your layout, onto your baseboard, because this lip here sits on top of your baseboard. So you have to drill, or not drill, but cut I think it's 310mm circle, and then that drops in and rests on this outer lip, which is fine until you want to take it out, because what's happening is that your track is resting over the top of this lip. So to lift it out, you've got to move all this track work, which might have ballasting, it might have other stuff around it. So you're going to have to destroy that section to lift this out. So what Alistair's done, he's designed a fitting kit, which means that instead of lifting out, it goes downwards. So you're not going to be having to lift the tracks up, destroying anything you've got around the edge here to lift it out, because it will go downwards, not upwards. I will show you that in a second, but while I've got this in front of me, I'll show you the operation of it. Now this will go in, I think he said, I might be wrong, but I think it's in increments of 0.4 of a millimetre steps, which you can adjust precisely to line up with the track. So in other words, if you have existing track down, for instance, and you want to replace your existing turntable with this, you can actually calibrate this to line up exactly with your existing track work. You don't have to change it. And likewise, if you're installing from new, you can put your track down wherever you want. You don't have to line it up with set positions like a lot of the turntables have. You can, if there is a position there or a position there, you could actually have your track work there. It makes no difference to this effort. It will line up with it exactly. And you do all that from this control panel. And once you've programmed it in once, that's it. You forget about it. Excuse me. So all those sort of things are very nicely and neatly taken care of for you. So like with anything, the initial setup you have to go through, but that's quite easy. It's not a major technical issue. It's you've got an instruction sheet, a quick start, a full 16-page fully described installation sheet, lots of other things as well. So it makes for a nice, easy installation. So let's show you now how this moves. So this is on not any particular setting at the moment, because obviously I haven't calibrated this for Lakeside, but this is it's gone through a programming mode and has finished at this particular point. So let's do a 180-degree turn. So this is where this red dot is here. If you imagine that as being the header, and this is the tail. So I want this to go 180 degrees and finish up over there. And all you do is go. Now how cool is that? You had the initial acceleration of it. It didn't just start and carry on at the same speed. It started very slowly and built up, and then as it came round to its finished cycle, it didn't just stop, it slowed right the way down and stopped. And the other nice thing, it is so quiet, really quiet. The other great thing, is that you don't have to worry about reversing polarity on DCC. That's all taken care of in the electronics in here. So as it's live as well, if you've got a loco with sound, for instance, when you drive on, the sound's going. A lot of turntables, as soon as you start and you make that brake, the sound will go off. This doesn't. This is live all the time. So the loco will go on, start turning, the sound will carry on, and will continue to carry on. Once you're in the right position, you can then drive off with no problems as regards sound disappearing or reverse polarity. That's all taken care of. So that's a really, really nice piece of kit. So if you want to reverse that now, and back she goes. Now this camera picks up huge amounts of noise from the front. Now I'm hearing this and it's incredibly quiet, but it might be that this camera is making this much louder than what it is, but believe me, that is ultra quiet. And she starts slowing down shortly. Perfect, absolutely perfect. And that will start and stop at exactly the same points. So this is something, as I said, I've been thinking about getting for the last year, 18 months, and I really couldn't justify it. And but now I'm well into Lakeside and it's not a fad, it's obviously something which I'm going to be doing for years and years. I thought, sod it, I'll go for it. And I'm so glad I did, because I know that this is, for me, I'm not saying it's for everybody, but for me, this is exactly what I wanted. So I'm absolutely chuffed to bits that I've actually got this at home now and ready to install it. And being Wednesday lunchtime, I think it is about, I've got quite a few jobs to do today, but I'm very, very tempted to actually start the installation of this, because I'm that excited about it, I really am. So, talking about the installation, I did say that Alistair had designed a installation kit for this, so that rather than just dropping it into your layout, you can do it so that it comes out from underneath the layout, therefore not disturbing anything above. So let's pop this over here and I'll show you the installation kit. Bear with me, it's a big beast. I might have to come back from the camera a bit. So what you get, it's like a commode really, doesn't it? Think about it. So what you get is some hefty MDF, and it's in 3 bits really. You've got the top section, this inner ring here, which is where the turntable will sit. Now you have to imagine that this is your baseboard. That's really what this is. This is part of the baseboard. Now you can cut, as long as you don't interfere with these screws, you can cut around here to the shape of your, you don't have to have it this size, so that it fits within the boundaries of your layout. Now I know that I have some track very near coming through here on the turntable, and I've got a retaining wall very close to here as well. So I am going to have to cut this, there's no doubt about it. But that's that part. Now underneath, I'll turn this over, is another section which is held in with 3 thumb screws here. You undo those, and that's the bit which the turntable rests on. It doesn't get fixed to it, it rests on it. And these 3 white adjusters here are to get the turntable level all the way around. And if you remember me always going on about having sets of 3 of things to give you the correct balance so it doesn't wobble, if you notice we've got the same here. We've got 3 adjusters here and 3 adjusters here. So that's the kit. So that's going to obviously help me install the turntable into Lakeside. The only downside to this probably is the fact that this is all 12mm MDF and my baseboard is 9mm MDF, so I'm going to have to put some packer pieces underneath here of 3mm to bring it to the right height, but that's a minor detail. But all in all, with this and the turntable, I'm just really over the moon with the fact that I've managed to get this, and I'm itching now to get this installed. I really am. Yep, so that's about it really. That's my time off on Sunday at Peterborough. I say it was a brilliant show, loved it to bits, because you could walk around there, and there wasn't a huge amount of people with rucksacks getting in the way and cameras. It was just nice. You could walk around, see things, talk to people, and yeah, it was a great show. So that's it for this Wednesday update. I doubt if I will get all this installed today if I do start, but hopefully by the weekend, if I do it today, then I'll do another quick update, but I doubt if that will happen. But hopefully by the weekend this will be installed, in which case I will then do an update. So until then, hopefully that's given you some idea of what I was doing on Sunday. I'm pleased with the acrylic display case. That's worked out really nicely, and that was what I think was a very cheap case, because I've been looking for these cases and a lot of them were well over £100 of that size, and that is I think it was 600mm long, 200 high and 200 wide, and that I think was £46 I paid for that. And it is beautifully made, it really is. It's not shoddy at all. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's, at least it's going to protect the Class 50 when it's not in use. It's going to keep it dust free. Okay folks, I think that's about it. Stop me waffling on. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully catch you later on during the week, on the weekend. So bye for now, take care and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye for now. Bye.